Welcome back to Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Today we got a 2012 Dodge Avenger. Brakes are really low. I'm going to show you a quick way of doing the brakes instead of having to get the C-clamp and all that. And one very important thing is to always take the cap off of the master cylinder. If you do not, and you attempt to push that caliper back, you will mess up that master cylinder. Well, I'm not going to say will, there's a good chance, 25% chance. So, let's start off from the front left, get the camera set up, and do these brakes. Come. Here. Okay, to start off, first thing you want to do is right there, take the cap off the master cylinder. So any kind of, when it comes back, when you're pushing the calipers back, the fluid will come back up here and it won't mess up the seals or anything else inside there. And we're going to come down to here, to the front left caliper. Okay, instead of removing the caliper first, what you guys and girls want to do is try to get a screwdriver and get it wedged in between the brake pad and the rotor. Once you do that, you slowly push back that piston till it stops. Sometimes you might want to use a pry bar, and sometimes you turn the screwdriver this way and get more of a push till no more. Once you get it back no more, what you want to do is make sure the caliper slides back and forth, because if this caliper don't slide back and forth, you're going to have to take these sliders out, grease them up, adjust them, because it will make one pad wear faster than the other. But as you can see, this one slides back, it's perfect. Now, you don't have to take off both bolts and remove the caliper. Just take off like the bottom one. Okay, next we want to do, let's bring this camera out a little bit so you can see what's going on. Now, this vehicle, 14 millimeter. Just take off one bolt, just the bottom bolt. Unscrew it, slide it out, slide the bolt out, and so you can change the pads just like that. Pick them up. And as you can see how low these brake pads are. Let's take off the outboard. Yeah, they're really low. Now I'm noticing something here. This little shield right here, this thing is broken. It should be going up. We're going to see if the new brake pads come with that. If not, we'll do the best we can. Right now, while this is up, what's going to happen is if I go to any other brake, any other caliper and push it in, there's a good chance that this will start coming out. So this is where you want to take one of the old brake pads, stick it right there, and this is where the C-clamp comes in handy. You just take the C-clamp and connect it on just to hold that in place. Alright, let's get that up there and let me show you how it's done. Okay, here we go. Got a C-clamp. You don't need to put a lot of pressure on this, just enough so that caliper don't pop back out. Now, I want to show you something. Let's take the camera off of here and walk around this vehicle for a second. Now, as you can see, I got the jack somewhat midpoint of the vehicle, and that way what I can do is jack the car up and both wheels come up at the same time. So I can do the front and the back on this side, then I go to the other side and do the other side. So now what we're going to do is go back here to the back, same procedure. All right, we're gonna try to get in there with a screwdriver or something, push that cylinder back and pop those brakes off, and then we just have a relaxing little good time and wait for Fisher Auto Parts so we can see who we can catch on video this time. All right, let me set this camera up so we can take this rear brakes apart. Okay, got the screwdriver. Now, it ain't all that easy to get the screwdriver in there, but just takes a little finagling and you can get it in there. Same thing. Now remember, you want to make sure that screwdriver is between the rotor and the pad. Do not pry up on that piston on the caliper. It's all the way back. Let's get our bolt off. Same size, 14 millimeter. What I'm going to do is I'm using the 1/2 inch bar just to break it loose. Once you break it loose, then you can get the 3/8. A lot of you people out there getting ripped off from these repair shops that's charging you $300 or $400 for the front, then another $300 for the backs. And you see how quick I'm going through this, right? That's exactly what they're doing. Pop it up. Now this one's got a little anti-shim up there. Now these shims are very important because if you don't replace these shims, put them back, it's a good chance your brakes will squeal. So you want to make sure you put those back, and the new brake pads you get, a lot of them will already come with that. So that's a good idea. Here's the outboard. Pistons push back, as you can see. And now we just wait for Fisher. While we're waiting for him, I want to make sure, see how the caliper slides back and forth, so we know the caliper's good, everything is going to be good when we put this back together. Alright, now we just wait for Fisher. Now you're telling me that ain't perfect timing right there? The #1 auto parts store in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Fisher Auto Parts. Can you dig it? All right, let's go over here and get the brakes. Here we are.
You're gonna break the thing.
I hope not, because if I drop this and break it. What I like about Fisher Auto Parts is the quality of the parts, because you can get a lot of cheap parts out here. So, all right, let's get these brakes and get them on. Let's see. And ceramic, very good.
Appreciate your business now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rufus. That was Rufus from Fisher Auto Parts store. Very great guy to talk to. Everybody at Fisher is very pleasurable. Unlike and you know, you go to you know, I don't, sometimes I might put down AutoZone and all them. I'm gonna let you know something here. The problem is when you go into one of these auto parts stores and that's all they care about is what's on the computer. And I mean, you could know what you're talking about, but if it ain't on the computer, they're gonna sit there and argue with you. They're really not knowledgeable as far as auto parts and cars, which is really sad, because some of them are really great people. But you know, but at Fisher, everybody knows their job. Everybody knows they got a place, and they know what they're doing, and they don't try to pretend they're this super genius, you know. So if you really want quality parts and people who are considerate to the customer and not just money and what they can sell you, go to Fisher Auto Parts in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. All right, we got the brakes here. See, we did a step up. See, our brake pads, the one they gave us, ceramic. Now also, go over here to the back of the truck. What I was wanting to show you, and what I was telling you about earlier, about the shim in the back. These come with the shim. As a matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause for a second and I'm gonna open these brakes up and I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is why I like Fisher Auto Parts. All right, bear back. Okay, here we are. Got all the brake pads lined out for you. If you notice that little black piece right there, that extra piece of metal, that's the anti-squealing shims. If without these, you'd have to spray the brake pads and with the disc brake quiet, and a good chance they're still gonna squeal on you. See, this is what I mean. Professional parts. You know, I know I'm gonna put these on. I know it's gonna be a great brake job. I ain't gotta worry about the squealing or anything. You know, all around it's just, you know, just like I said, AutoZone and Advanced. They got some nice people there. Some parts are pretty good, but I as a professional, I can't go with some. I can't go with sometimes. I gotta go with what's best for the customer. So let's set the camera back up and get these brakes back on. Okay, we're back at the left rear. Let's try to zoom this out a little bit so you can get a good shot at it. All right, we got the old brake pads, the old shims that just came off of that, so we ain't even worry about that because we got new ones, new brake pads. Lift up the caliper. We still got the bolt in, so we can do that. We got the one going on the outboard. Let's just squeeze that in there. Perfect. This one, don't go inside here. It goes right on top. It's like in a slot down there. Slowly lower the caliper down. Make sure this boot is not squeezed up in there. The bottom bolt. Put the bolt in. Tighten it up. Done. Tire's gonna go back on. That one's finished. Let's go back up here. Let's go up here to the front brakes. There we go. We got it up here with the C-clamp still tied on. Now on this bottom part that, remember this bottom clip right here that's broken? We're going to leave that alone right now. But next time we do brakes, we are going to replace that. Okay? Actually, yeah, we are definitely going to replace that next time. Alright, let's take this C-clamp off. Now sometimes you might take off the brake pads and not even realize it. Which side goes to which, because some of them got this little sensor right here. Now this sensor will hit the rotor and let you know you need brakes because it'll squeal before you actually grind into the rotor. So what you do is you hold the pad like it's a sad face. Whatever side is on, it's going to be one over here or one over here. That's the side it's on. So we right here, sad face, it's on the left side, which you know well I know now, this goes on the left side. So, and those that go on the inboard. So we got one more going on the outboard. You know, if you say side, I'm gonna take this out. I'm not even gonna take a chance And this messing up for the customer. Take that out. Next time we're gonna brakes, we're gonna get a new one up there. Lower the caliper down. Insert the bolt. Tighten it up. Front brakes are done. Now, before we do the next side, what you want to do here is put the cap back on the master cylinder. We're going to pump the brakes up, and then we're going to go to the other side and do the brakes. I hope this was a pretty easy video to let you know how to do brakes. And this method is for any car out there, okay? Pretty much any car, except for like some cars you need a computer to back up the calipers, but don't worry about that. We'll get into that later. This is very easy, so stop getting ripped off by these shops charging you $300 or $400 for the front and $300 or $400 from the back. I've heard horrible stories. It's so easy to change the brakes. Get out there and change them. This is another great job by Astro Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. Take care. See you next video.